Hey all, today's Tuesday tip is about something that is possible to happen to you as a buyer or as a seller. I want to talk about what you do if a home appraises low. So I've been on both sides of this. I've been on the buyer side and I've been on the seller side. And it's never fun because most offers are subject to an appraisal. Even if a cash offer comes in, that cash buyer can still choose to make the offer subject to an appraisal. Probably not very likely, but it is still possible. If the home is being financed, the bank is going to require an appraisal be done to make sure that the value of the home is there based on what an appraiser says. So if the home appraises low, you don't have to buy the home if your offer is subject to it appraising. You can decide not to purchase it. The seller can decide to come down to whatever that appraised value is to make the deal happen, or the seller can say, we're not going to sell it to you for less than what the agreed purchase price was. So there are a lot of different factors that go into this decision. If you firmly believe that the home is worth what the offer is, if your realtor also agrees that it is, and if we can pull market comps to justify and show it. Unfortunately, I've had appraisers that their appraised value didn't make any sense. I've pulled comps. I've said, I don't understand how you got to this value. Here's this comp and this comp. Once an appraiser's mind is made up, their mind is made up, and you're not going to get them to change it. So other than accepting the lower value, meaning that you either get the seller to reduce the value, reduce the price, or you don't purchase it, a couple other things that can be done. If the loan is not an FHA or a VA loan, so those are both government-backed loans, if it is an FHA or a VA loan, that appraisal sticks with the property for, I believe, a year. I'll need to verify that for sure, but meaning that you couldn't go get another appraisal because it is now in the system as that price. But if it's a conventional loan, you can either let your lender agree to have you use a different appraisal. So we've done this before where I represented the buyer and we said to the seller, look, if you think that the home will appraise for what we've agreed upon, if you'd like to pay for another appraisal out of your pocket, and if it appraises that value, then we will proceed with the sale. I've had a seller do that. It appraised at value. Now, how can one appraisal be $10,000 lower than another appraisal? I don't know. And it's frustrating because there's no black and white system that appraisers always use. I firmly believe that their personal opinion does come into play with it because I have seen it happen where an appraisal done a week later is a completely different value than the appraisal done previously. So that's one option. Your lender would have to say that's okay. If your lender says, no, this is the only appraisal that we'll accept, you can switch lenders. You can switch lenders. It's going to cause delays. You're going to have to start the process over. Sometimes a lender will give your whole file over to another lender to see if they can get it done. It's not a guarantee. The next appraisal could also come in low. Another option is if you love the house, if we all believe it should appraise, sometimes appraisers don't put full value, if it's completely remodeled or updated. Maybe it's the most expensive home in the neighborhood, but you're okay with it because you like the updates that have been done and you don't want to have to come in and do the updates yourself. You can bring cash to come up and make the difference in the appraised value and the purchase price. That is always an option. Just because a bank requires an appraisal, it doesn't mean that the bank won't loan on it if it appraises low. It means that they won't loan you the money, the full amount of money on it. So they will be willing to loan on what it appraised for, and you can come to the table with the difference. What I see most often is, depending on the difference in appraisal and purchase price, I see sellers and buyers working together to compromise and meet in the middle. So buyers come up a little bit, sellers come down a little bit, because at the end of the day, that's what we all want, is we want the deal to happen. We want to make sellers and buyers happy. So if you have any questions, let me know.